Sylvana, one of the harp teachers on Harp School, and I will be teaching you how to play We Wish You a Merry Christmas on the harp, on the pedal harp or the Celtic harp. So, let's start and I will play for you the tune. If you still haven't downloaded your music, it's for free on harpschool.com. So to play this tune, you need to put your harp with an F sharp. So on the Celtic harp, it's E, A, B, and F up, and the rest is down. And on the pedal harp, it will be everything in the middle and the F down. So this tune I have arranged for you is with 2 themes and 2 variations. So according to your level, you can only look at the themes or look through everything. As well, if you're more of a beginner, you might want to simplify the left hand. So let's start with the first theme. Throughout the first theme, you have this fingering coming back, and I will show it to you starting on the G. So we put second finger on the G and some on the A. We play the second finger and then we place 2, 3 and 4 on the notes going down. So from the A where the thumb is to the E where the 4th finger is. And we go down. So let me do again this for you. G and A, second finger, and then all the fingers going down. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the quite hard fingering that we have to do throughout this first theme. Before that, we have this nice interval going from D to G. So it's 4 strings apart. So I play up from the D to the G, and then that nice fingering we just learned. G, A, G, F, E. And I repeat the E with the second finger. Just the second finger. So D, G, G, A, G, F, E, E. That's the first part of my melody. Second part, I do exactly what I just did, but starting 1 note higher. So we started on the D earlier, we're now going to start on the E. That's as well the note that we just finished on. So it's quite useful to memorize. So we start on the E, some on the A, E, A, B, A, G, F, and I play the D by itself. So not the F, this time I play a D. So let me do first little phrase and second little phrase all together. So starting on the D from the top, D, G, G, A, G, F, E, 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 A, B, A, G, F, D. And this time we're going to start 1 note higher again. So first time we started on the D, second time on the E, and this time on the F. So F, B, B, C, B, A, G, E. So again, like before, we're not repeating the G. At the end, we play an E. So let me play through first, second, and third part for you. So we start from the top on D and G. D, G, G, A, G, F, E, 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 A, B, A, G, F, D, F, B, B, C, B, A, G, E. So that's all that we learned already. I will do it one more time without saying anything, so you can play along with me and see if you can follow. So, starting on the D. So, 1, 2. And let's learn the end, which is a different little phrase from what we've learned so far. So we're placing second finger on the D, but thumb is going on the E, just next to it. We play twice the D and once the E. And then we place thumb on the A and second on the F, and we play the A. We replace the thumb on the G, we play the F, and then the G. So it's going D, D, E, A, F, G. One more time. 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. One little technical tip for you guys. When you have things like second and thumb, like at the top of the piece that we have the D and the G, it's really good if you can try and place both notes at the same time, so you're not, placing the D and then asking yourself, oh my god, where is my thumb going? So you have more time, you place both together, and if you place the wrong string, you have time to actually realize that's the wrong string and correct yourself. And as well, at the end of my phrase, of the first theme, you see I've played 1, 2, 1. It's really good to remember that right after I played the thumb, I have to replace my thumb one string lower before I play the second finger. So it's all attached together. So I play the thumb, and before I play the second, or exactly at the same time, I have to play my thumb. I will play through for you again all this first theme, and then we can add the left hand. So, starting from the top with a D and a G. I start on the E. Starting on the F. I hope you managed to follow this first theme. You can replay that if you need, and you can email me, or you can email Harp School to have some information if you have some questions. Now, let's have a look at the left hand. So the left hand starts on D and G. So it's exactly the same strings as the right hand. We play both together, and then the next chord, my thumb stays on the same string, so it stays on the G, but my second finger goes down to the C. So, D and G, and then C and G. And then, I started on D and G. I am going up one string, so E and A. And same thing, my thumb doesn't move, but my second finger goes down one string. And then I start one string higher again. So, I started on D and G, then it was E and A. Now I'm going to be F and B. And my second finger goes down one string again. So let me play through for you those 6 chords. So, D and G, going to C and G. E and A, going to D and A. F and B, going to E and B. And to finish up, we have G and C. So again, one string higher. But this time, it's not my second finger is moving, it's my thumb. So my thumb goes down one string to the B. So it's going to be G and B. So GC, GB. So let me do again this one last time for you. So DG, CG, EA, DA, FB, EB, GC, and GB. Okay, it's all the same rhythm, so it's, quite repetitive. So what you can do before you add the left hand to the right hand, if you're more of a beginner, we are going to play through the right hand one last time as well. That's a good exercise to see if we can remember it well. And instead of playing the left hand, I will just clap the left hand on the harp. So I'm going to clap just when the left hand is playing, so you can, have a look and see if you understand how it goes. So the D is by itself at the beginning, and then I will clap on the G. And then the next time I clap is with my fourth finger. So, and with the 4, and with the thumb, and with the 4, and with the thumb, and with the 4, and with the thumb, and with the thumb. So as you can see, most of the time is with thumb or the fourth finger. Now, let's try and play both hands together. Good. So if you manage to play this through, great. You probably actually realized that each time we start the little part of the phrase, we place the same thing right hand and left hand. So we started with D and G in both hands, and then after that it was E and A both hands, and F and B both hands. If you need more time to play it through, it's great to cut it down to those little phrases and just do 2 chords at a time. So, for example, first little part you practice is and once you've done that and you actually manage to do that properly, you go to the next one. So we start both hands on E and A. And then we do the last one, the third one, we start on F and B. Once you've managed to do this as a practice, you put all of those 3 little phrases together, and let's have a look to the ending phrase, which is a bit different. So my right hand is on D and E, my left hand is on G and C. And I play my second finger twice before I play the left hand. You see? So I play all together. So D, D, and all together. And then my right hand goes to A and F. My left hand goes to B and G. And I play my thumb, which I replace on the G. I play the F along, and I play all together. So A, F, and all together. So one last time the ending phrase. D, D, E, A, F, G. Okay, So let me play through for you one last time this first theme that we just learned, and so you can, rewatch that and practice at home. So, I won't say anything this time, just listen. 1, 2. You will see this tune doesn't have so much of repeated pattern, but it's probably easier than the first theme. We're going to start with the exact same fingers on the exact same strings as the first theme. So let me play for you just the second theme once, and then we can start learning it. So you will see the left hand is quite easy. For the right hand, so we start on the same notes at the beginning, so G and G, and we play exactly the same way, going up. So G, G, we repeat the G with the second finger, and then we place a thumb on the G and a second finger on the F, and we play down. So it's going G, 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 F. And for the fingering, I've used 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can use something different if you prefer, but that's the way I'm doing it. For the next little bit, we start exactly on the note that we just left, so G and F, with the exact same fingers. And we're going to do the nice fingering from the first part, but slower. So it's going to be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the notes are F, G, F, E, D. So you know in the first part, we actually played from the G at the beginning, and quite fast, it was like this. G, A, G, F, E. So this time, twice slower. G, F, E, D. So, I will play for you first little part and second little part. So starting on D and G. D, G, 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 F, F, G, F, E, D. So it's nice, slow, steady, you have time, so really take your time. I will play it once more and carry on with the rest of the theme. So, D, G, 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 F, F, G, F, E, D, A, B, A, G, D, D. So, this is probably the hardest little part of this theme. We're going to start on the A and the B, exactly like the fingering that we're using all the time, but this time it's a bit different. That's why we need to take a bit of time with this. So we play the second finger, and this time we're not placing fourth finger, but only 3. So 1, 2, and 3 on A, G, and B, A, and G, and we're playing down. But before we play the third finger, we play the thumb on the D. We play the third, and we place the fourth an octave lower, so on the D, and we play thumb and fourth. So, once with the fingering, once with the note. So, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. And the notes again, A, B, G, D, D. So really for this fingering, you just need to remember two things. First, don't place 4 fingers but only 3. And second thing, before you play the third finger, you need to place your thumb, otherwise you will be lost. So, one last time. 2, thumb, second, third, thumb, fourth. So hopefully this was nice for you to learn. And I have a little surprise for you, is that you actually already know the ending phrase, which is D, D, E, A, F, G. So it's the same ending phrase as the same one. Once with the notes. D, G, 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 F, F, G, F, E, D, A, B, A, G, D, 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 E, A, F, G. And once with the fingering. Second, thumb, second, thumb, second, second, thumb, second, third, fourth, second, thumb, second, third, thumb, fourth, second, thumb, second, thumb. Okay, so now for the left hand. Actually, it's 7 Ds and then a G. So, the goal is to try and have the G as long as possible and not cut the sound too early. So, in order to achieve that, I have a little tip, is that you place your thumb on the G, but you don't play it at all until the last note, and then you will play the second finger on the D, and you will try, as an exercise first, to play the D, and you have to place it super late, as late as possible, and play it at the same time, so you kind of catch the string and play it right away. So you see, long D. What we want to avoid is this, because it's making quite a big sound and it's a lot of silence, and we really want to have a long D. So let's try it. So we place D and G, and with the right hand D and G. So it's exactly the same placing as the beginning of the piece from the theme 1. And it's both same notes as well, right and left hand. So we play the D right hand by itself, and then we play with the G. And with the F, and with the G, and with the D, and with the A, and with the D, with the E, and we play the G with the G. Two little things to do. If you're maybe more advanced, I can show you something to have a really nice sound. Maybe on your harp, it actually sounds nicer at the bottom of the strings. So have a try, it depends on the harp and as well what you like as a sound. On my harp I quite like it. And as well, at the end of the phrase, you know, we play the G. But we have this D who is resonating. So we play the G, and it's quite, you know, mixing both of the notes together. I don't really like it. So to have a nice and clean sound, what I'm doing, so you can try it, is when I play the G at the end with my thumb, I place again my second finger on the D to dump it. So I play my thumb and dump the D. Either you dump it with the tip of your finger as when you play, but then the risk with this is that you might play the D, which we don't want, or what I'm doing is that I'm using the side of my finger to damp it. So I play and I damp when I play my song, and now I have a really nice and clean sound. So I will play once, last time, both hands together, the second sim. So, you might have noticed that the variations are only for the left hand. The right hand stays pretty much the same. So, variation 1 is the variation on the same one. So, the right hand is the same, except it's 1 octave higher. So, instead of starting on the middle D, we start 1 octave higher. And the only difference is that I've added a few notes at the beginning. So, instead of doing D, G, we put 4 fingers together, so the fourth is on the D, third on the E, second on the F, and some on the G. And we play going up. 4, 3, 2, 1. D, E, F, G. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so now with the left hand, instead of being 1 octave at the bottom, we go 1 octave higher. So if you're on a very small harp, this is your last string, so this is 1 octave higher. And what's happening is that each time we play the chords that we had before. The first chord, then we play 1 note below the top notes. Then second chord, 1 note below the bottom note. So this chord, and then 1 note below the top note, which is the F. Second chord, 1 note below the bottom note, so which is the B. So first 2 bars is going chord, F, chord, B. And we carry on with the same idea. So I'm bar 19 now. I play the chord and the note below the top one, so which is the G, the chord, and note below the bottom one, which is the C. Yeah, now bar 21, same idea. So I'm on F and B. I play the chord and 1 note below the top one, which is the A. Then I play the chord E and B, and 1 note below, which is the D. So that's the same idea again. So let's play through those few bars all together. So D and G going down to the F, C and G going down to the B, E and A going down to the G, D and A going down to the C, F and B going down to the A, E and B going down to the D. And for the ending, we play our chord G and C, and we play again the D, and the last chord, which is G and B. So only the last time we don't do the same, we only play a bottom D again. So one last time. So, as you can see, the rhythm is really regular, but to play with the right hand, you play in the middle of the bar, which is quite tricky. So I'm going to play it for you once, the right hand, and clapping the left hand on the harp, so you can see where it's meant to go. So let's go, and... let's go very slowly, first 2 bars. So we have 3 first notes, and then it's on the G. And then on the A, on the E. So this bar is quite tricky, bar 18, but we have this rhythm everywhere. So let's take directly bar 18. So right hand on the E and left on C and G. We play all together. Then we repeat the E, and the G goes between both repeated E. So it's going 1, 2, and 3. Okay, one last time. 1, 2, and 3. So if you say the end in your head, I'm sure you can do it properly. So let's go again, slowly, from the beginning until the end of this variation. And 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. Okay, so I hope you can do this and have a little practice. Maybe you need some time to learn it. Now let's have a look at variation 2. Variation 2 is the variation on theme 2. So the right hand stays exactly the same octave and everything. So starting on the D and the G in the middle of the harp. The left hand will carry on playing the D, but this time we add an extra chord to sound like bells. But this chord is really high up here. So you're gonna go above your right hand, and the chord is D and A. So on the score, it's actually written on the first, on the treble clef. So maybe that's quite hard to read. So it's going to be D and the chord. And it's always the same notes, repeated, same chord, same strings and everything. So for a good practice, before we start doing it, put your right hand where it's meant to start, so you have a sort of point that you can refer to, and your left hand, just play it repeatedly. So the D and the chord. And try not to move your arm around too much, that will be a lot easier. So only move this part of your arm and try to have this part quite stable. And try it quite fast. And once you feel that you know exactly where to go, we can try and play it with the left hand. Before that, let's do again the clapping on the harp so you can see where it goes exactly. So slowly and. So you've probably noticed it's on the first and second bits, and the third bit you don't have a left hand. So basically you have to go up quite quickly, but you have time to go down to the D. And again, the last note is a G, not a D. So let's try and play both hands together, quite slowly. And really, to be able to play this well, learn your right hand really well. You need to know it by heart before you put the left hand with it. So you don't have to worry about the notes with the right hand. It's going to be quite automatical for the right hand, and you can have a look at the left hand. So, and. Of course, at the end, slow down a little bit so we know it's the end of the song. And you will see maybe you will have some troubles at the beginning controlling the sound at the top. Really, you can make it really light at the top because it's meant to be like bells. As well, you might have had no difficulties at all doing those variations. So have a look and see if you can find something more up to your level to play. You know, add some notes, add some little chords, more notes on the chords, anything you want really. You're really free with this score. I hope you liked doing this piece with me, and I hope to see you know, on Skype when we do lessons with harp schools. That would be really cool. Do write down comments at the bottom of the videos, because I don't know if you like it or not. I don't know if it was, you know, something you enjoyed. I really hope you did. And it would be really nice to hear you play it. So maybe you can send me a video of you doing it. That'd be a nice little surprise. I know. And yeah, I'll wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And see you soon. Bye.